Hey guys, lit review building up for the Super. Was watching over the Super Bowl as well. You guys want more updates on that? I guess a recap on that. I'll do it on the second channel. But other than that, we had Smackdown before the Super Bowl, and uh the biggest thing was the Intercontinental titles on the line, and Hulk Hogan made an appearance to talk about WrestleMania. His WrestleMania win against Andre the Giant. Don't know, and because it was a 33-year anniversary, he reminded that over Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Don't know if that's supposed to build up the two world champions for no apparent reason. And the World Tag Team titles were on the line. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler against Otis and Chad Gable. The tag division is so thin that I can make up for my recent bank account. So I guess that we had one thing damn boring about SmackDown. The only thing that puts it together was technically the opening promo over with Roman Reigns discussing over the no-show of Edge earlier up in the show when he was demanding him and calling him over to make a reason why he should be facing off against Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. But he showed up later in the night, so I guess that was cool. Roman Reigns having his demands and not seeing them fit, because of course even authority figures listen to him, make up matches himself. So it shows that Roman Reigns commands everything against the ultimate opportunist, and I just felt like this is great, but there's already a lackluster amount of talent. Even the most recent releases had to be off a quick faction made with Baron Corbin and the former Forgotten Sons, now Wesley Blake, possibly is going to have a spring cleaning part of the spring cleaning thing, and yeah, Steve Cutler is also released, so yeah, I think even Vince is noticing that he's got nothing to do with his talent. It's sad. It really is. What's the point of even giving Corbin a threatening faction anyway? The main guy isn't a baby face on the show. He has no character. The guy that just looks like a manager that's about to retire that also has breast cancer. Just he looks like an albino Jazz of 2021. Corbin just sucks. He had his umpteenth match with Dominic Mysterio later in the night, where he ended up losing because he held it up his legs, leaving opportunity for a 619 by the assistance of Rey Mysterio. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan had the best match, but it's like they're doing nothing. I guess it's major momentum for Cesaro because he pins Daniel Bryan clean by just using his brute ability. And you'd think that would have something to do with anything. And I guess because he's undersized, I don't get it. They're just gonna have work rate matches for no reason. I have no desired interest to care, but it was a cool combination. It was a torture rack into a gut buster, into his spin out, into a sharpshooter that was already messing up the waist. So it made Daniel Bryan tap out. That's shit that I want to see. That's stuff that I want to focus on. Selling, focusing on body parts, the brutability of a heel, and Cesaro looked strong. The match was great, and it made Cesaro look like a freaking technical genius. I loved it. Best match. I just wish there was more surgical direction. And you should bring back the guy that used to manage Stan Coulter. I forgot his name. He used to manage the Real Americans and Alberto Del Rio. Bring him back. Bring back a real manager. You need managers in the company. It's major forces for Cesaro that's not that charismatic. He doesn't have a character that makes him the most talked about guy, even though he used to have a character, just this European strongman that can speak 7 languages. That's gonna be it because Cesaro doesn't have anything else interesting about him. I hate to say that, but he needs a manager, probably a female one. You can let Billy Kay do it because of the resume thing. Try to give him something. Bailey also picked up a win against Ruby Riott over the headlock driver due to Billy Kay's interference trying to take away the ring ropes from trying to take away the ring ropes off a submission hold off Ruby Riott, so it ended up with the headlock driver on Ruby Riott to pick up the victory. The match was a bit boring. Don't know what they're focusing over with Bayley. The whole joke with the Michael Cole last name on her shaved head, even though he was not even there to call the match. That was mad cringe. I don't know what they're gonna do with Bayley. We also had a segment. Carmella, of course, the sommelier, were forcing over Bianca Belair to wait in line because she still is like one of the prime contenders for the SmackDown Women's title. If she was willing to choose the SmackDown Women's Champion, that's Sasha Banks. Alright, promo over the sommelier, even though he obviously gets towered by most of the women in the ring. Sasha's just there. You are the champion, but you say you're the best? That's out of discussion. That is the champ. Like, it's just bland. I'm not that willing over the build, because just babyface against babyface, and there's not much of a conflict over characters over this one. And the hype factor is just completely lackluster. If it was up to me, I would just have the belts unified again. Just like they tried to do. Well, technically it wasn't a unification. Because just come, I think, the next pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. Just, I think, like a month or two after WrestleMania, the belts were separated. And, like, Bayley and Sasha won 2 separate ones. Like, they need to stick to something, and that's unifying the women's belts as tag belts and the world titles. I don't mind having 2 world mid-card championships, but God, it's just there's already like a plethora of mid-card, not that much stars, and just a thin divisional focus, and this is not going to be a long-term setup, because we're just going to see makeshift tag teams and not that much story in the tag division, the women's division, and the rest of the card. And I am all for like the spring cleanup of 2021, because it's obviously that Vince needs to like really pick stuff in his own hand and actually feel like what's going to make a direction that come when Peacock picks up the WWE network streaming privileges. We need stuff for the Korean product to stand out, or people are just going to be there in droves and leaving leaving Peacock, just like they did for the damaging ratings they had when they had the network. I'm just saying, man. So, I think Vince, I'm all for the spring cleaning stuff, bro. We have the Intercontinental title match that was the final match before Edge and Roman had their segment, and it was an okay match. Pretty cool, clean moves. Sami Zayn nearly had the upper hand, escaping the big ending a few times. Right hands a lot. There was a standing moonsault and a running corner splash off the apron. A hell of a kick that almost had the match won for Sami until Apollo broke it up. Sammy was pushed out until Big E found his opening and hadn't had a chance. The big ending finished the match against Apollo. Apollo looked frustrated. That was the match. I don't mind, but it's like weak-ended storytelling. Like, I know this is like Apollo's already like 3rd chance of getting a title shot and he failed. The direction possibly over his talk with Paul Heyman and his talk with Roman Reigns, I guess it's a teaser to him joining a future faction, but I have no faith in Apollo Crews. Jey Uso at least has acting chops. He actually is good in the ring, and he's part of the same family. And there's already been like a strict direction over family, so I guess that would be more of an interesting focus. I just feel like they're doing a lackluster job of making any of the guys actually feel important. Even the Intercontinental Champion, even though his title match was the last match of the show, like very little focus. These guys need to do more segments, especially over for Raw, because they're more time show. They need like actual storylining and segments to march over and make the show actually watchable. Same thing with Smackdown. Like, what was the major focus for tonight? Just, uh, Edge just coming in for the Rumble, and Hogan was. They rarely even advertised Hogan, even having a talk about what happened back at WrestleMania. We also had Robert Roode versus and Ziggler versus Otis and Chad Gable for the tag belts. It was a win over the surprise glorious DDT. Very little moves. The Caterpillar was, I think, prevented. Gable did his mat wrestling with Ziggler. I guess was the most interesting part of the match. They're probably gonna have one-on-one matches for a dumb storyline, and I don't know how Sonya Deville's gonna get involved because she literally was like part of like the most interesting storyline they had like earlier in the year. But that's practically it over that standpoint because there's very little any interest I have in what's happening in the tag team division because they have the Street Profits popping in. Like, they're the most funnest guys to watch. You know how culturally insulting the Crime Time tag team was? And guess what? I still remember them because they actually were fun to watch. Interesting, had charisma, were relatable and funny. Sure, they were a bit insulting, and they were a mad stereotype. But I can get JTG, I can get Shad. They were funny, and actually had clever set pieces. These guys get over segment over to hype up the card, and that's it. There's nothing interesting about the Street Profits. They don't make a muck of things. They don't do parties. They don't say trendy stuff other than, fam, I'm going to shoot my shot. Like, they are bland as hell. It's coming from a black man. I'm supposed to get this dumbass humor. All they are noticed for is getting red cups. Why don't you have Ford being leaned up, and the reason why he does the high-flying stuff is because he's up in the lean and he just doesn't know what he's doing. Just boring ass tag team, lackluster show. If you guys think differently, I mean, we also had Edge and Roman that not much came into play other than Kevin's fat ass came around doing a stunner. It's bland ass, still focusing over the storyline of even though he's beaten him twice, Kevin should get his fat ass back to NXT. Dumb built YouTuber. Not even a good excuse for a bouncer. You're a bouncer for a GameStop and the cashier. I hate this storyline. They have nothing focused over for a Roman Reigns. It's just gonna be a bunch of mid-carders like Nakamura, Cesaro, like Daniel Bryan. Even though he wants to be a father, like I don't care, and I'm not just going to watch Roman Reigns just wasting my time. Even though he's gonna look like $1,000,000 against freaking Kevin Owens of all people. Like, I like Kevin Owens, but he's not in the centerpiece to being a babyface. And the more time until Vince notices this, I don't know how in the hell Raw and SmackDown are going to get better. Especially SmackDown, thanks. They have literally been the saving graces for watching the main roster. So, they have to do something. Especially over the stances that their Fox deal is probably not going to pan out over the recent deal that they did with the network. So, that's all I have for tonight. For this evening. Other than that, you guys enjoy your day. Hopefully, you guys watch the Super Bowl. If you guys want to talk about that, head over to the other channel or comment down below who you thought was going to win the Super Bowl anyway. Even though we knew, spoiler alert, it was the Buccaneers. Woo! Other than, I'm a bitter 49ers fan. Let me have this. Other than that, that's all I have for today. That's it for me.